Ladies and gentlemen, this is a warning. Thank you.
Well, new tonight, have you seen speculation growing online of a serial killer in the Westwood community of Memphis? Several homicides in the area recently have folks wondering what's fact and what's fiction. Our Rebecca Butcher is here with what she's learned from Memphis police. Rebecca.
Well, Richard, Memphis police say that right now there is no investigative evidence pointing straight toward a serial killer, although this TikTok video that we've been seeing has been gaining a lot of traction online and has nearly 500,000 views, with a Westwood native worried about safety after some believe that multiple people have been shot and then burned.
If you haven't heard, there is supposedly a serial killer in the Memphis area.
Fears of a supposed serial killer in Westwood and Walker Home area neighborhoods have residents worried. I reached out to Memphis police asking if there is a serial killer and if any homicides in the area are connected. Authorities confirm 6 homicides have taken place between November 8th and January 5th. Out of those, an arrest has been made in a homicide that took place in the 500 block of Levi Road. Another included a Tennessee Bureau investigation where a man was shot and killed by Memphis police after a suspected carjacking. An arrest has been made in a second homicide that happened in the 1000 block of Lee Crest Avenue on December 20th. Out of all the homicides, Memphis police detailed that a 46-year-old man was located inside of a burning vehicle on January 3rd. So far, police have not identified the man nor detailed if he was shot beforehand. Now, all of the victims are men. A Memphis police spokesperson released this statement saying, in part, at this point, no ongoing homicide investigation has been determined to be connected. However, all unsolved investigations are ongoing.
The city of Memphis is no stranger to gun violence. In 2022, 19-year-old Ezekiel Kelly live-streamed himself on a crime spree that left 4 dead and 3 wounded. In 1983, a shootout between police officers and a cult led to 7 of the members and 1 police officer dead. In 1973, 30-year-old David Sanders shot and killed 4 citizens and 1 police officer in an hour-and-a-half siege on Kansas Street. And most infamous of all, in 1968, Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated at the Lorraine Hotel. These are just a drop in the thousands of shootings that take place in the #1 most violent city in the US. But what they all have in common is that they are one-offs, acts of extreme violence that last just a few seconds or a few hours. It is rare in the home of the blues for calculated multiple murders to go uncaptured. But in 2011, a series of at least 3 women would die of single gunshots and dumped in abandoned cemeteries in a specific section of town that had people wondering, did Memphis have a serial killer?
Goes on in San Francisco for the man known as the Zodiac Killer.
There could be a serial killer in Chicago.
The Oakland County child killer.
Phantom Killer.
Frankfurt slasher.
4 children have now been murdered.
Has killed 5 and says he's going to kill again.
15 brutally murdered young women.
The pattern is the same.
One by one, the death count started rising.
A man in a mask robbed, tied, and stabbed them.
Strangled, stuffed in burlap bags.
It is highly unlikely that these women were murdered by separate men.
Where will the killer strike next? Police can't answer who or why.
That's the question that we'll never know.
I don't want to live the rest of my life wondering if this person's going to be caught.
I believe that there's someone out there that has knowledge.
And he's probably still at large.
This is State Route 51. It runs from downtown Memphis south, crossing the Mississippi state line. In 1971, the city council approved the name change to Elvis Presley Boulevard in honor of the king of rock and roll who had purchased Graceland on the then rural road back in 1957. Since then, a booming tourist and retail industry has built up around Graceland. But 2 miles north on that same road, things are much different. Junkyards, liquor stores, and seedy motels line the road. Just beyond that are a number of cemeteries. Forest Hill Cemetery was home to the King's Mausoleum, where he's laid to rest with his mother before both were reinterred in Graceland just 2 months after his burial. But on the other side of the creek from Forest Hill sits 2 unkempt cemeteries. Hollywood and Mount Carmel cemeteries overgrown and disheveled. Like the nearby Rose Hill Cemetery, these African American graveyards were formed prior to the 1920s, when trusts were required to ensure that properties were perpetually maintained. With graves dating back to the early 1900s across them, Rose Hill was listed as abandoned in 1995, while the owner of Hollywood and Mount Carmel filed for bankruptcy in 2013. Veterans, musicians, children, and beloved family members lie hidden in the overgrowth.
I want to visit my sister. Me and my nieces and my sister came like a couple of months ago, and we couldn't find her.
That was Lexis Taylor speaking last week about her grief and frustration about not being able to find her sister's grave at Rose Hill Cemetery. You can see why the weeds are as tall as she is in some places.
In 2019, after families of relatives in the graves complained about the rundown nature of them, the city pledged that they would help with maintaining the grounds along with volunteer groups, also forming to mow the lawns and pick up trash. But 4 years later, the grounds are back to their unkempt state. A few flowers poke out of the overgrown grass, denoting broken tombstones of loved ones. Holes formed either by collapsing or exhumed graves dot the uneven ground. Garbage of all kind has been dumped with no regard to the graves around it. The largest of the three cemeteries is Mount Carmel. Tree trunks have been placed across the entry points to hinder people from driving inside to dump trash, do drugs, or have sex. But there's another reason for the cemetery to be closed off. Two of the victims of the Memphis shooter would be found dumped on the grounds, which was known as a spot frequented by sex workers and their johns to conduct business back then. We'll return to Mount Carmel, but first we travel 2 miles directly north to this area on Hemlock Street. It was 2:15 in the morning on January 27, 2011 when 31-year-old Tamakia McKinney was found lying in the street here. At the time of her murder, a duplex stood on the street, just 1 block off of Elvis Presley Boulevard. The mother of 2 had died from a single gunshot, though police are withholding specifically where. Originally from Arkansas, Tamakia had graduated from the Job Corps in Oklahoma City and was active in her church ministry, being the leader of a youth dance group and member of a drama ministry, but after her divorce in 2007, her life had spiraled downwards. She had begun drinking and moved to drugs, and her family had informed her ex-husband she had begun sex work. Her murder did not make the newspapers. Another death that has almost no information available online is that of Marnicia Shaw, who was found deceased inside a hotel room on Brooks Road on February 12th that year. Brooks is a road running perpendicular to Elvis Presley Boulevard, just north of Graceland. 8 days later, the first of 2 murders that would finally alert police and citizens to a possible serial killer was 28-year-old Jessica Lewis. Born in Mississippi, Jessica had graduated college and started working in a hospital in Memphis when she had become addicted to methamphetamines sometime around 2004. When not living with her boyfriend, Jessica had begun staying at the Bellevue Inn, a motel just diagonal from where Tamakia was found. Jessica had been arrested once for prostitution and another time for general solicitation, during which a crack pipe was found on her. It was February 20th when a woman visiting a relative's grave at Mount Carmel noticed something in the bushes in the middle of the cemetery. She rushed to the street and flagged a police vehicle down to show them the body of Jessica. She had been shot once in the head. Just 4 days later, the next body would be found. Differing reports state either a groundskeeper or police patrol came upon the body in the southwest corner of the cemetery, lying in the road at 5:45 a.m. near the corners of Ruth and Elliston. Back in January, Wells had been arrested in a prostitution sting. She too had been shot in the head, which immediately sent up the possibility of the cases being linked. Just as the investigation begun, the killer struck again. It was 7:30 February 26 when 26-year-old Katrina Peterson was walking near the quiet backroads corner of Dunn and Grand Opera, less than a half a mile diagonal from Mount Carmel and just north of Rose Hill Cemetery, when a man pulled up next to her. Here too, stories differ. Original reports state she had solicited the man, but as she later told it, he had come on to her, making a statement similar to, "You think you could handle this?" She declined and turned around when a bullet hit her behind her right ear and came out below her left eye. Miraculously, she survived and began running north on Grand Opera as more bullets flew past her. She made it to safety and was taken to the regional medical center in critical condition, but managed to pull through. Police interviewed her and she provided this identikit. She said he was an African-American man about 24 years old with cornrows. He drove a dark vehicle, either Dodge Charger or a Chrysler 300. Flyers were distributed and police stated they believed the killings to be the work of a serial killer due to the single shot fired at each and all being sex workers. While DNA was recovered from all three victims, police state they do not know if it is any from the killer due to their line of work. However, two of the murders have definitively been linked by bullet casings. Peterson stopped cooperating with detectives after her hospital release, and she has since been noted as being arrested 5 times for prostitution since the incident. In 2018, a fire broke out inside a boarding house formerly located at 1602 Elvis Presley Boulevard, just half a mile north from her shooting location, that would leave 4 injured. Katrina would be arrested for the arson and serve 6 years jail time. When she was in the hospital, several prime suspects were shown to her, but she either said it wasn't the person or refused to answer, as it was believed she did not wish to get further involved. Likewise, the city moved on. Ironically, 2011 was the lowest year for violent crime in the county's recent history, a number that has since continued to grow to make Memphis the #1 most dangerous city in the United States in 2022. It was 2015 when a now familiar story would play out, this time in the next-door Hollywood cemetery. A woman was visiting a relative's gravesite when she would find another body lying in front of some tombstones.
Tonight we're learning more about the woman whose body was found in a North Memphis cemetery. Memphis police identify her as Juanita Gilmore. WMC Action News 5's Jerry Askin has more now on what happened before she was found dead that could help lead police to a killer.
We're finding out more about Juanita Gilmore's death. Her body found here in this cemetery. Police say she was killed after an apparent stab wound. We're also learning more about her long history of prostitution. Here's a picture of 25-year-old Juanita Gilmore holding her small daughter. Police found Gilmore's body at the Hollywood Cemetery Wednesday morning. They say she was stabbed and left for dead.
Whoever did it, they was wrong.
Monica Miller told me she and Gilmore were best friends. I mean, who would have done this to her, you think?
I mean, I can't say I don't know, because you know we like, she a prostitute. There was no prostitutes all around.
She said Gilmore was missing for 2 days before her body was found, and said the night she went missing.
Oh, she can't ask for a gun. She needed a gun, she said. Her and her boyfriend got to fighting. Her and her baby daddy got to fighting.
Now, a look at Gilmore's past shows she has been arrested before on several prostitution and drug charges. These mugshots date back to 2011. Her best friend told me she fears it may be tough to find her killer, since she says Gilmore was a known prostitute.
It'd be so hard to find out who did it, because we deal with so many different people.
She has advice for others to make sure no one else ends up like her best friend.
Be careful, change your life, because this the end result of it. Don't nothing good come out of it.
Newspapers picked up on the fact that Hollywood Cemetery is just next door to Mount Carmel, but police stated they did not believe the murder to be linked due to the different MO, instead believing due to the more personal method of stabbing, pointing that her killer knew her. One year later, someone made a phone call about what appeared to be fresh graves dug at Mount Carmel, where the last burial was back in 2001. Police took the matter seriously, setting up a full search team. Despite no new bodies turning up at this time, a scare uncovered a startling trend. Perhaps given the idea by a number of threads online, the bodies of murder victims have been found buried in cemeteries, in some instances atop others' graves. It's like hiding a book in a library, said forensic archaeologist Javier Santana. Excavation of cemeteries is a long process, often hindered by the cemeteries themselves. In 2020, investigators would submit, quote, something unusual found at the murder scenes in Memphis to the FBI's Violent Criminal Apprehension Program that was distributed to other agencies across the country to see if any other crimes matched. But what if the killer never left? Oakville Cemetery is yet another abandoned graveyard 4.5 miles southeast of Mount Carmel.
This yellow wild plant swaying side to side marks the spot where yellow crime scene tape was flapping in the wind days earlier. The man you see here, Mr. Willie, is the same man who called for help after noticing something just wasn't right Friday morning.
Brown gravel that right there, coming this way, because I was thinking she was intoxicated and just laying out here.
But Mr. Willie says there was no response as he began moving in, yelling to get the woman's attention.
Ma'am, get up, but...
Sadly, to no avail, as the woman was already dead, lying here in this grassy field, shot just under her eye, Mr. Willie noticed.
There's a face to one of her cheeks.
Just as disturbing is where it happened, behind this church along Oakville Street off Lamar Avenue.
Just stand over her and just shoot down on her like that. No.
Where the deadly attack happened wasn't just on the backside of a church, but a few feet from what many consider to be a peaceful resting place. We're talking about a cemetery. Sadly, that peace was shattered in just a matter of moments Friday. Mr. Willie, who stays nearby, wanted to show us how this hallowed ground is also historic, with many of the headstones dating back to the 1800s. The victim is someone Mr. Willie has seen before in the area.
She was so young, and to have her life rubbed out like that, and somebody was just, I don't know.
That somebody may have gotten away in this dark-colored sedan captured on surveillance cameras, along with gunshot flashes. Police are hoping anyone who saw anything will alert detectives. Reporting in the airport area, Jarita Patterson, WREG, News Channel 3.
Fingerprints would link her with the alias Abigail Mo Marie, but could not positively identify her actual name. Less than 2 months later, another woman was shot in the head in the street in front of Oakville Cemetery.
A woman was found shot to death Thursday morning near a cemetery. Now, this is the second time a body has been found in that area in less than 2 months. WREG's Shay Simon went to the Oakville Cemetery area tonight, and she is live at Memphis Police Headquarters with the latest. Shay?
Yes, Stephanie, it has been a tough 2 months for that man I spoke to tonight. He actually lives near where all this happened and says this is the second body that he's seen. Crime scene tape up and Memphis police in. Investigating after a woman's body was found on Oakville Road off Lamar, just feet away from the Oakville Cemetery.
I found 2 bodies in 2 months.
Too shaken to show his face, Willie Conley says this is the second body he has seen in the area.
2 young black girls in 2 months. And it's getting kind of scary, really.
Scary is right. Memphis police say they got the call at 9:30 this morning and found the woman's body in the street. But Conley says he heard shooting overnight.
You just heard the one single shot. It was right to the head, I think. I didn't even go to look at the body. I was too doggone scared, really.
It brings him back to this scene from late July. Crime scene tape still lays mangled in tree branches outside the cemetery. Conley says this tape is from when he found the body of another woman and alerted police.
Abigail, the girl that I found back there.
That was 38 days ago. Police say this dark-colored sedan is how someone may have gotten away back in July.
Yeah, it just don't happen to people twice. Not like that, not in a couple of months. It doesn't happen.
He has now put this flower here in her honor, hoping that the overgrown woods and lack of lights doesn't continue to make this a hiding place for these kind of horrific crimes.
That's unreal.
Now, Conley says he doesn't know if those 2 shootings are connected, and that is exactly what Memphis police are working on tonight to figure out, and they're asking anyone who knows anything to call Crime Stoppers. In Memphis tonight, Shay Simon, WREG, News Channel 3.
It was 1:30 a.m. February 4th, 2023 when a woman was shot at the end of Preston Street, less than 2 miles west from where victim number 1, Tamakia McKinney, was found.
Right now at 6, MPD is investigating after it says a woman was shot and killed in South Memphis. It happened around 1:30 this morning on Preston Street, not far from A.B. Hill Elementary School. MPD says the woman died before they could get her to a hospital. We're still working to learn her name tonight. Police have not arrested anyone or given us a description of the suspect.
While shootings happen every week across Memphis, the two Oakville Cemetery murders are so similar to the 2011 crimes, hopefully investigators are comparing evidence. As of 2020, when the news of the unique items being submitted to VICAP was released, police stated that they had not had any matches to other crimes. Has anything changed since then? Has enough time passed that the killer felt safe to begin again? And how long will it be until this man is captured?
Do you see how many crimes go unsolved in Memphis? You know what I'm saying? These crimes here haven't been solved. They have not found the killer. And this been over years. And this is stuff that we don't even know about. We haven't even heard about. But, you know, it exists. But we're going to keep on going and dig deeper into this and see allegedly how all this is going on. Let's get on to it. But you see it being reported in the news, but it was never reported as it happened. You understand what I'm saying? We have to dig to find. Okay, let's keep on going.
All right.
She beat the odds to earn her doctorate. Chandrika Hazlett proved you can do anything you set your mind to. Now, sadly, she has become the latest victim of gun violence here in Memphis.
look.
Before 34-year-old Dr. Chandrika Hazlett would lose her life, she had already started this year grieving someone she loved deeply. In January, Chandrika allegedly shared a post following the passing of her uncle. In the post, she shared that just 2 weeks before he passed away, the two had a FaceTime call and were able to talk. Now, during that conversation, her uncle told her how proud he was and encouraged her to finish earning her doctorate. She ended the post by writing, "I'm going to miss you, Aunt." And less than 5 months later, she would be just days away from doing exactly what her uncle had encouraged her to do. On June the 6th, just 6 days before she would earn her doctorate, she shared another post reflecting on what reaching that milestone meant to her. She wrote, 6 days away, it was never about the degree, but the woman he created me to be. A little black girl from North Memphis. I didn't do it for me, but all of the women who look like me. Be delusional when it comes to your dreams. First generation. Now, Chandrika, the little black girl from North Memphis, as she described herself, had reached the goal she had worked towards and was preparing to officially become Dr. Chandrika Hazlett.
Now presenting the doctoral degree programs.
Doctoral candidate Chandrika Hazlett.
But less than 2 months after earning her doctorate, her family would have another reason to celebrate education. On Saturday, August the 8th, 2026, she would attend a trunk party in Memphis for one of her relatives who was preparing to leave for college. Now, what was supposed to be a celebration of another milestone for her family would take a devastating turn before the night was over.
I'm already on laugh. Fuck that. Damn. Damn. What the fuck? I knew that shit was bound to happen. I hope ain't nobody got no gun, baby.
Memphis police say a fight led to a deadly mass shooting in the Douglas community. And new tonight, police say 3 victims have been released from the hospital. 1 is still in critical condition.
As you heard in the news clip, investigators have confirmed that a fight broke out during what was supposed to be a celebration for one of Chandrika's family members who was preparing to head off to college. However, investigators have not confirmed who was involved in the fight, what caused it, or if there was an intended target. But while investigators have released limited information about what actually happened leading up to the shooting, an alleged cousin of Chandrika said that she was there that night and has since shared more about what she says she witnessed. According to her post, multiple members of her family were injured during the shooting, including her father, who she claims was glazed. She also pushed back against some of the criticism surrounding Chandrika being at the party, especially comments questioning why a woman who had just earned her doctorate would be in that type of environment. In the post shared on social media, in part, she wrote, "Y'all keep saying stay away from crowds like that. When y'all are the crowd like that, we don't act like that. If we argue, we get in our cars and we move around. Y'all came to our event and was there and took my cousin's life after I told y'all to leave." And she didn't stop there. She also addressed people who she says were judging her family because of where they were from, writing, "This stuff is so messed up. Y'all in the comments judging my family because of where we from. We were doing something. My family always comes together to love on each other because life is short and you never know when it's your last call. Out of all these years, we never had anything like this happen. Just be happy you don't have to rest your head in the belly of the beast every night."
What happened in this neighborhood Saturday night is unacceptable. A family gathering in our community turned into a scene of violence. And sadly, Dr. Chandrika Hazlett lost her life. And 4 others were injured in this senseless shooting. These are people who should have been able to gather and celebrate and return home safely. Our thoughts are with Dr. Hazlett's family and loved ones, and with every victim and family affected by this senseless violence. Our investigators at the MPD have been working around the clock since the incident and have issued 2 warrants of individuals in connection with this shooting. To those responsible, I want to be perfectly clear. We will find you, and we will hold you accountable.
Driven to succeed, you know, when all the odds are stacked against you and you still make it. Oh, baby, that's driven. And it comes a lot with her faith, you know, growing up in church and growing up hearing the word of God and growing up with the mother saying you can be this and you can be that.
Twin, where have you been? Hey, oh.
But before Chandrika would make headlines because of this tragedy, those who knew her were already talking about the life she had built and everything she had accomplished. Before receiving her Doctor of Business Administration, she had quietly been building the life she wanted for years, both personally and professionally. In 2019, after 6.5 years of dating, she celebrated becoming engaged. In a post, she wrote, "Wow, thank you, God. My stank is now my fiance. This feeling is out the world." Working hard, planning his mom and dad 36th anniversary, and then they were going to start planning for their wedding. Then in 2020, her fiance would share that they had originally planned to have a larger wedding that September, but because of the pandemic, it changed those plans. Instead, they decided to have a smaller wedding.
Notice my perfume and tell me I'm perfect.
As she continued building her personal life, she was also continuing her education and building her career. By 2023, she would celebrate receiving her master's degree while continuing to build her career in the healthcare industry.
My name is Chandrika Hazlett, the new Director of Operations. You may know us as Mid-South Urgent Care, but we heard your voices, and now we service primary and urgent care.
Chandrika had already found success in her career and held multiple leadership roles. but she would never get the opportunity to see the full potential of where her Doctor of Business Administration degree could take her because her life would be tragically cut short. Now, her husband has not made a public post or spoken out at this time, but her family has requested continued prayers for him as he grieves this loss. Now, what Chandrika may not have known when she arrived at that celebration with her family was that, according to one of her alleged relatives, there may have already been ongoing issues involving someone who was there. That relative who would later come forward and claim that what happened was not random. According to her, the suspects had planned the attack because there was someone in the group they had been beefing with.
Bad actors obviously had something in their mind, and they ended up how can I say this, planning. We know for a fact that it was planned because there was somebody in the group that they were beefing with.
Now, although authorities have not confirmed that this was a targeted attack, they would later announce the arrest of 2 suspects in connection with the case.
Arrested are Damian Thomas and Naskiel Wilson. Records show warrants were issued for both of them on Sunday night on multiple charges, including first-degree murder.
Now, following the arrest, Chandrika's alleged family would come out and make a post to say, and to everyone claiming to be family who was just sharing my cousin's beautiful pictures on your page and now sad over the rest, forget y'all, because the whole time y'all knew. Now, the suspect's alleged family member would later clarify that she was not defending the suspects or excusing what happened. Instead, she claimed that the 2 people who had been arrested were not the only individuals who should be held accountable. In an alleged post, she wrote, "Wrong is wrong and right is right. I'm not justifying anything. If you're wrong, you're wrong. We just went through a similar situation with our family." Where they do that at? We did this stuff when we was kids. Ride with family on family. We are grown now, and people should take responsibility for their actions. The difference is nobody get the fight for real, but we could have lost some lives that night. But we all supposed to be family. So from her perspective, the live recording that you will see later in this video does not accurately reflect everything that actually happened that night. According to her, the suspects could have also lost their lives during the altercation, and she believes there were other people involved who should also be held accountable. She would go on to make a comment under that same post writing, "Everyone that made a statement need to be charged with false information because I'm pretty sure they left a lot of people out." But the suspect's alleged family member would not be the only person pushing back against the versions of events being publicly shared. Now, it is alleged that before one of the suspects was arrested, he would take to social media to deny having anything to do with what happened. In an alleged post, he claimed that he was actually trying to break up the fight and was maced during the altercation. He wrote, "I ain't gonna lie, this green as heck. People know I ain't have nothing to do with this. I was out there breaking that stuff up, getting maced and stuff. People acting like I ain't got 3 kids on my life. This is so green. I never moved sloppy like that, and I had family out there too." But despite that public denial, investigators have arrested and charged him in connection with this case. Before we get into the live recording from that night, there is something else that gives a little more context to why Chandrika was even there. According to posts shared by her family, she did not normally come out and party with them often because she stayed busy with her career and everything she had going on in her life. One family member expressed how happy she was that the victim had taken time out of her busy schedule to come out, spend time with her family, hug everyone, tell them she loved them, and simply enjoy herself. And one of the surviving victims was already live throughout the evening, recording what was supposed to be a family celebration for a relative preparing to go off to college.
Now, afterwards, she pushed back against people who apparently believe she started recording because of what was happening. She clarified that she had actually been live throughout the night long before the altercation took place. In an alleged post, she explained in part, "Those people came where we were. We were not doing anything but celebrating a great thing. I have been going live the whole night, even before the altercation started. It happened right in front of where I was standing at the moment. Y'all were not there, so why speak on it? Any one of y'all could have been there." So according to her, the live was not started because something was happening. She was already recording her family enjoying the celebration when the first altercation took place. That situation eventually calmed down, but later another altercation would happen. Because the live was already recording, it captured some of the family enjoying themselves. Now, I do want to clarify something before I play portions of the recording. Towards the end of the live, a woman could be heard saying that she had been shot. Some people online initially believed that voice belonged to the victim. However, according to the woman who was actually recording the live, that was her voice.
Hold on, turn it around. What? Okay, not a watermelon through a straw.
A watermelon through a water.
Ooh.
They're gonna put you in a new car.
Oh shit now.
Off the auction block.
What kind of car? What kind of car?
A Ford Escort.
I'm from Memphis. Fuck that.
Take that shot, bro. Why you ain't super cold shit for the internet? Hold it on down with your big dick on
That's all I'm gonna say. I'm from Ridge Crest Apartment. Bitch, I ain't from no motherfucking Ridge Crest Law Apartment. Oh, fuck the Ridge Crest hoe and everybody in it. Oh. Why I feel like I got shit on my ass? Okay. Cause I'm sitting on this dirt, but y'all, bitch. What happened? Ooh, they fine. Oh my God. I got her. Ooh. I want to see this. Fuck that. Damn.
Look at cuz. She could have got killed. I got to see this. I got to see her.
Who fine? I was on board. I'm already on land. Fuck that. Damn. Damn. What the fuck? I knew that shit was bound to happen. I hope ain't nobody got no gun, baby. Who the fuck got phone? Oh, what the fuck going on? What the fuck going on? Sammy! Damn! Oh, what the fuck? And they still fine. Damn. And they still taking. What's that?
You hear how crazy these folks sound now. These folks are see, that's a female fight. Don't let them girls fight, man. And that's how people get killed every time. The female fight, how many two guys?
My fucking folks.
I don't watch that nigga. So dumb here.
Damn.
Let's go.
Hold on, Dad. I was hoping nobody put no gun down there. Damn.
Too many guns out. Come on, let's go to the store.
I got you. Hold on. Oh, look. What's the car leg? What's the car leg? That's the one they got the plane? Oh, the head on?
Hey, girl.
Man, look. Come on. Well, I don't know what the fuck going on. That's what I was talking about. Is she straight food? You straight, bro. You straight. Is you straight? I'm good. Make sure I ain't leaking. Yeah. Am I leaking? She's straight. Yeah, she's straight. Yeah, and I make that bitch leak. All right, bro. Yeah, come on. All right, come on. Come on, y'all pushing. Y'all pushing. I knew that shit was gonna happen though. Stop that. Oh God. Y'all pushing. Woo. You straight though. Put it in time, bitch. Ooh. Y'all bushing. Ooh, y'all bushing. Oh God. Ooh. She right got mace. Ooh. Hey, that's our son. Hey, bro. Hey, bro. Hey, come here, bro. Hell no. No. Hell no. Hey, your mama right there, son.
Hey, I'm sorry, fellas, guys out there. I'm sorry. I'm having a little interruptions going on right now. My dog is, if you have pets, you understand. We're going to have to cut this short, but we will get back with part 2 of this in about another hour. Thank you for tuning in to Fearen Fear Files, and I will get back with you.